All right, Coach, I mean, there's no off season. Recruiting is 24/7, 365, but I know to finally put this class together to cap this day, I know it's got to be a great feeling. You guys have been working hard. You got guys from all over the country.
Absolutely. It's extremely exciting time to be a Sycamore for a lot of reasons, but I want to thank the staff, Coach Mallory, and everyone involved in Indiana State football for this great class we put together. It's extremely exciting. Class of 33, and like Coach Mallory, I'm sure already talked about it, it always starts in the state of Indiana. We take a lot of pride in working towards dominating the state and having a big class out of the state of Indiana, then going to the surrounding areas and going where we need to go from there to Ohio, to Texas, to Kansas, and New York, Massachusetts. It's really been an awesome class, something that's really exciting to see come to fruition here coming soon.
Getting some linemen, a lot of linemen helps too. Not just local linemen, but a lot of linemen. That it starts up front on offense and defense.
Yep, you beat me to it. It always starts up front, and between the offensive line and the defensive line, the trenches, we feel like we got substantially better, and we got a lot of toughness up front. We got a lot of intelligence. We got a lot of great young men up front, along with the entire class that really fit into our mold and our culture, that are going to do some really great things up front to start the season off. I can't wait to see them operate.
You have some great size on your line. You're talking about a couple of 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", a 6'7", and some good hefty players.
Absolutely.
This has been your goal?
Yes, absolutely, and we want to be able to, especially in a great conference like the Missouri Valley, you want to be able to have young men that are big and thick and physical, but also young men that are good athletes and guys that are intelligent in the football side of things. But you're exactly right. We beefed it up front and on both sides, and it's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with on both.
You picked up a couple of Indiana ball players from the Indianapolis area that have been in state finals 2 and 3 years. That's got to be exciting to bring in that kind of experience.
Oh, you're telling me. We have a multitude of different weapons from the state of Indiana on both sides of the ball, and like you said, the area of Indianapolis is always going to be a hotbed for us. And man, do we get really lucky with the young men that are coming from that area, let alone up north near the region in Penn and southern Indiana and Evansville. We got a lot of talent, but it did start a lot of it in the Wabash Valley and then leak its way into Indianapolis, and it's really exciting. There are a lot of weapons coming our way.
How important are certainly the current players too? You guys, you can do everything, but obviously the current players are a great ambassador to ink these guys too. How important are some of the guys that are already here for guys to join this program and to keep it building?
Completely critical. I want to thank our team and those young men that went out of their way to show these incomers exactly what our culture is and why it's so special and why it's only going to continue to be built the way we want it to be built. And those young men have been incredibly vital. I mean, they're around. They're constantly wanting to help. Whether it's hosting or just be around guys who are on campus but just being themselves, right? And none of them are putting on a show or anything like that. That's just the culture that Coach Mallory has established and bringing in these young men from last year's class. But now time flies. They're a year into it. They remember a year ago they were doing the same thing, and they took a lot of pride in them when they were coming out in their recruiting class. The previous team did the exact same thing for them. So they just carried on that tradition, and man, did it go a long way.
With being a portal, a big impact on football, all sports.
Yeah.
There's like 1, 2, 3 shift, and people are scattering all different schools and everything. You did not have that here at Indiana State.
Yeah, our philosophy is always going to be start the high school ranks, in the traditional side of recruiting, which is we made a lot of hay in, but we ended up taking 5 young men from the portal, and then a handful of junior college kids after that. So like you're saying, it was more minimal comparative to a lot of the rest of the country, but we looked more at what was the best fit, and as far as the best fit for the program, it was a little bit less there. It was a lot more high school and junior college ranks that way, but the fits that we needed that came from those 5 portal spots are guys that we're going to be we are really excited about. They're going to make a big impact. But yeah, it goes without saying that we might be on the different side of the spectrum when it goes to that way. But it was all about fit, and we're really excited about how those 5 young men are going to come into the fold and add to our culture.
Well, it says a lot about Indiana State's culture when you don't have, at the end of the season, a mass exodus.
You're exactly
right. A lot of a lot of schools all across the country.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's a testament to A, the culture Coach Mallory has developed, and B, the young men that him and our staff have brought in that see the big picture. They see the vision, and they want to stick this thing out. I mean, we've always, as coaches, subscribed to the thought process that those will stay who will be champions, and we have a huge amount of young men of our team, and our culture has really come together in the sense that we see the big picture. We see the goals coming to fruition here sooner rather than later, and you're exactly right. I mean, that speaks a lot to the culture that Coach Mallory and Indiana State football has created.